Hey, what's up everybody? It's Frick, and it's been a while since I've done a video, so I got this in the mail today, so I thought I would do a video on it. This is the EVGA GTX 1080 Founders Edition. Now, just before I open, I just kind of give you a brief overrun of why I got this. Mainly because it is time for an upgrade in my PC. I'm only running a Nvidia GTX 670 right now. I did have a 970 for a little while. And then I sold it because I didn't really play many games on my PC. I've been playing mostly on my PS4, so I got rid of that and just been using my 670. And I want to get back into some newer PC games, and of course the 670 just won't cut it. Also, I just got a 4K TV that my PC is hooked up to, so that's another reason I wanted to get into 4K gaming. If I'm going to game on my PC, I want it to look better than my PS4. So that's another reason why I got this card. I ordered it off of, as you can see from the box, this is from newegg.ca. I originally ordered this card from NCIX the day that it launched, and they emailed me back the next day and told me that I was 3 minutes late and that they had sold out. So I canceled that order, and then I decided I was actually going to wait for the other GTX 1080 cards, the different brands with the overclocking built in. I was probably going to get the Asus Strix model. It looked the coolest, or the Gigabyte G1 gaming model, which is what my 970 was. It was a Gigabyte G1. But I decided when Newegg sent me an email and said that they had some available, I said, fine, I'll get it for now, and I'll use this until I really need an upgrade. So without further ado, let's cut it open here. Open it up, see what's inside. And also what I'll do is I won't go through the setup and hooking it up and driver installation or anything like that. I'll just I'll plug it in, hook it up to my new 4K screen, and try a few games on it, and I'll give you my brief impressions, kind of a quick review. I know there's many reviews out there already. They go into quite a bit of depth from what I can see. But mine won't go out that in depth as far as the specs go and everything like that. They're easy to find if you Google it, so there's no need to dive into all that stuff. All right, what do we got in here? We got. All right, take this out. So the packing list. I don't know if it tells me the price. So I'm in Canada, as you know. The launch price for these, the Founders Editions of the GTX 1080s, was roughly, geez, I can't remember what it was, $699, I believe, US, possibly $799. I can't remember. Either way, in Canada, it ended up being $909 plus tax and shipping. Ironically, it came to about $1,080. So that's how much Canadian it was. It was a little more for us, but shipping wasn't too bad, and it arrived really quickly. I ordered it on Friday, and it's now Tuesday, so it showed up fairly quick. So let's get this plastic off. We'll do a brief overview of the box itself. Let's see what it says. I'll pause on the specs so that if you guys want to pause the video and see exactly what it has. Again, this is the EVGA model. The Founders Edition, they all look very similar no matter what brand you go with. EVGA, Gigabyte, Asus, PNY, Zotac. They're all very, very similar. So as you can see from the cover, very basic. GTX 1080 Founders Edition, GameWorks, Ansel VRWorks, and DirectX 12. Oh, another reason I got this was because I have a Oculus Rift on the way as well. And of course, one of the big things with these new GTX 1080s is that they are VR ready. In most cases, they're over double the performance of the previous video cards. All right, so let's see what we got here. Monitoring EVGA gaming. Here are the key features. So if you want to pause on that and take a look at those, you can see what they are in all the different languages. Okay, and so let's get this open, see what else is in it. Probably not much, to be honest with you. There's usually not much bundled with a video card. Maybe something for the power adapter and then the card itself. Alright, this looks like something that unfolds. Perhaps a poster. Oh, it's definitely a poster. Sorry about that. Again, I'm using one hand. See if I can unfold it. You guys can see it. It says, "Arm yourself with EVGA." Makes it look like a movie poster. It's pretty cool, I guess. Not sure I'll have a need for it, but you have the instruction manual. Looks like some stickers. Okay, so these are some stickers and a little tag that you can put on your gaming tower. Two-way SLI, so it might come with the SLI bridge, I'm not sure. This looks like a little, I don't know if this is the installation. We'll open it up and see. So power supply options, basically. And then the user guide. So not really any reason to go into that. That'll be available online as well. And here it is. Here's the beast. I don't know if this is sealed or not. Oh no. So there it is. It is a pretty good size. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be, but it's a very similar, a little bit smaller than the card that I currently have in there now. Wow, this is all metal actually. I thought it was plastic, but it appears to be metal. This is, I forget what they call this, the type of cooling. It's like a vapor chamber, I think they call it. So all the air blows out the back here. Before I look at that, I'm just going to take a look at what was here. And that's just a power supply connector. It's a converter or adapter, I guess, so that you have the right power. So we have some plastic on here. I won't rip that off right now. I will when I put it in my PC. Let's see if I can get it out here. I'm just going to put the phone down for a second. All right. Okay, so there it is. You can kind of see in regards to the size of my hand how big it is. Let's look at the inputs. So we have a DVI-D, we have 3 display ports, and 1 HDMI port. One of the reasons I was looking at the Asus Strix version is because it had 2 HDMI, something I would prefer, since the VR does take up one of those HDMI, so I'll have to use a display port to my screen. So I'll have to use an adapter actually because it's not a monitor, it's a TV. I'll have to use an adapter to do DisplayPort to HDMI. And there's the back. It's got a metal plate on the back, which is nice. Looks pretty cool. There's the bottom, PCI Express. On the top, you'll see where the SLI slot is, and then you're going to see one power 8-pin connector, and then you have the, sorry, move my hands here. You have the GeForce GTX logo, which I believe lights up when you plug it in. So there you have it. That is the EVGA Nvidia GTX 1080 Founders Edition. In my opinion, it looks really nice. It feels good, nice and hefty. I like how it's actual metal. I'm not sure what type of metal it is, probably aluminum. But really slick design, looks really cool. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take it downstairs, uninstall my old GTX 670 and put in the GTX 1080 and see how it runs. See you in a bit. All right, just before I put the new card in, I just wanted to compare sizes. I just took my old Gigabyte 670 out. Just wanted to show you the difference in size. Not a huge difference really, but there is definitely a size difference. Just see if I can show you thickness. I can't really tell from that angle, but this one is a lot thicker as well. This takes up 3 spots in in my tower. As you can see, 3 lines of space, whereas the new one only takes 2. So I just thought I'd show you that just to compare before I throw it in there. Okay. All right, everybody. So there is the GTX 1080 sitting inside the motherboard. As you can see, my tower is a huge mess right now. When I bought this tower, normally I build my own. I did buy this one secondhand. It was built by a guy who had to move away, so it was brand new when I got it. The cords and the wires were all hidden perfectly. This tower is set up so that you can hide all the wires along the backside, and then they sort of just appear where you need them to. You can, I guess you can. I was gonna say there's some wires down there that are still set up that way. But since I've got it, I've replaced the cooler on the CPU. As you can see, it's water cooled. So that's new. I had to put in 3 DVD drives since I do a lot of DVD and video production. So that's new. Power supply is 850. This is a solid state hard drive. Perhaps now I can put the drive back into one of these slots. My last video card was so big that it actually went into that space, so I couldn't put it in there. I have a 4 terabyte hard drive down there, and then just a 120 solid state drive there for Windows. But anyway, you can kind of see where the GTX goes. It is using one 8-pin connector, as mentioned. That lights up the GeForce GTX, as I said before. If I turn off the light, you can kind of see. It's cool. My case is actually enclosed. There's no window, so I wasn't really concerned with the lights. I know some of these 1080 cards, they're completely RGB. You can customize them and stuff, but that really wasn't a concern to me. Simply because, like I say, it's not something I can see on a regular basis. But anyways, that's the GTX installed in my PC, and next up we're going to test it on a few games and see how it runs. Hey everybody, so the first game I'm trying out now is Rocket League, which is one of my favorite games of all time. And I have it on 4K resolution, full settings, VSync, full anti-aliasing, or however you say it, and it is running incredibly smooth. I know you guys can't really tell that because I'm using a Samsung Galaxy S7 to record, and the max it will do at 4K resolution is 30 frames. So you guys are seeing it in 30 frames, but I am seeing it in full 60 frames. Absolutely no skipping whatsoever. So I thought I would throw this game out at first just because this isn't really a graphical heavy game to begin with. So I just want to make sure that the card was installed. I just installed the drivers, of course, and just want to make sure everything was working perfectly, and it appears that it is. So yeah, so that's Rocket League. Let's quit this and we'll try another one. We'll be right back. Alright, so this is Batman Arkham Knight, the latest Batman game. It's currently set to 4K resolution, everything on Ultra, all the GameWorks settings on, so the better looking fog and lighting effects and everything like that. And right now it's just on the PC test, just so I can give you an idea of the frame rate and stuff. So right now I'm showing roughly 41, 39, it's going down. Hasn't dipped below 29, which is still an acceptable playable frame rate. As you can see, the light settings and everything looks fantastic. So it looks incredible. The frame rate is not a full 60 frames, but I'm sure I could get it to 60 frames just by turning off a couple of these things like the rain, the enhanced rain, and the fog and the lighting a little bit. But I don't know, it's personal preference sometimes. Some people like the higher frame rate, lower graphics. Some people like higher graphics, lower frame rate. I tend to lean towards the latter. But I mean, it looks absolutely phenomenal as far as how clear it is. And again, I mean, most PS4 games, Xbox One games, they run around 30 frames per second anyway. So it's not something that is lower than normal. But yeah, it looks phenomenal from my end. Alright, so that's Batman Arkham Knight. Let's close this one down and we'll try another one. Alright, so next up we have Street Fighter 5. And this is again is at full 4K, ultra settings on everything, max, I guess on this game they call it max settings. Again, you guys can't tell because of the 30 frames on this camera, but it is running at full, at least 60 frames. I don't know exactly what it is. And something I should tell you, on Batman, when I turned off VSync, it actually raised the minimum frames per second to at least 45 to 50. So almost a 20 frame per second jump just by disabling the G-Sync, or I'm sorry, the VSync. But this game as well, Street Fighter 5, running very smoothly. Graphics are incredibly crisp, incredibly clear, and also very, very smooth. So no problems handling Street Fighter, or no problems handling any of the games that we've thrown at it so far. So that's Street Fighter. We'll try a couple more games. And so next up we'll try Mortal Kombat X. Alright guys, so as I said, Mortal Kombat's up next. I believe it has a benchmark mode, so we'll try that. I'll just show you the settings on this one. I didn't show you the settings on the other ones, and I should have. So just kind of let you know where we're at. We are at full 4K resolution. I left the VSync off. I'll experiment with that. Frame smoothing off. Anti-aliasing is on. So everything looks good. Let's go into advanced settings. I'll show you what I got in there. Lumen depth of field, particles, GPU, shadow quality very high, which is as high as it goes, and texture quality is also on high, which is the max for that. So I'll just go back here, go down to run benchmark, and this should tell us the frame rate. It is incredibly clear, very, very smooth. And as you can see, I'm getting 60 frames per second, which is nice. All right, so we got a high performance benchmark. I'm gonna go into the regular game and just, I'll do a single fight here. So on this one, more so than Batman, I'm noticing an issue with the VSync. So I'll have to try turning that on. I don't know if you guys can see that. But it is noticeable. But of course, it's because I have VSync turned off. I just don't know if the frame rate will take a huge difference. But other than that, it's running incredibly smooth. Of course, I'm trying to play this with one hand, so I can't do it. But just wanted to show you again, the frame rate. All right, so one more game we'll try is Fallout 4. So hang tight for that one. Okay, so next up is Fallout. I'm just going to show you the options I have on here. So we have full 4K, best quality, AA, anisotropic filtering 16, which is the highest it goes. If we go to Ultra, just set everything to Ultra, and then you can see texture, shadow, lighting, everything set to Ultra. So let's see how that turns out. And I haven't really played this game yet. Hope to get into it eventually, but Now I did try this game in 4K on my 970, and although it rendered the resolution, of course the frame rate was terrible. It was probably around 10 to 15 frames per second. Sorry, I'm just trying to move this with one hand. It is tough. So, it appears to be running, I would say around, it's in between 30 and 60 frames per second. I would say it's closer to 60 to be honest, but I'm still thinking it's around, 50, 55. But again, it looks phenomenal, incredibly clear. Okay. Another problem that you guys might be experiencing on your end is I am filming this in low light conditions. I'm in my basement, in my man cave, so the lighting is pretty low, which changes the settings on the camera on my phone, so that might decrease the frame rate as well, or not make it look as good, but I can tell you that it is running beautifully with the GTX 1080. I think that's enough benchmarks for now. I'm going to show you one more thing, and it's probably something that not many other people are tackling, and I just want to give it a try. I actually have a 4K TV upstairs as well, so one thing I wanted to try was the Nvidia game streaming to the Nvidia Shield. I don't know if you guys saw my video on the Shield, but I did do a test on the game streaming before, and that was with the GTX 970, and it was really, really good, but I've never tried 4K streaming. So I'm going to shut the camera off for now. We're going to go upstairs and try it and see how it does. See you in a bit. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to show you was the game streaming ability. And if you guys saw my video on the Nvidia Shield that I shot just about a year ago, it's this little device here, the Android Shield TV. And one of the features it has is a feature called Game Stream, as you can see there at the top. And Game Stream is the ability to stream any PC game running off your home PC to another device. In this case, I'm streaming it to my TV upstairs, which is also a 4K 55-inch LG screen as well. So that's what I wanted to test today. And it's an amazing feature, really. It works really well. There's also the Nvidia Shield tablet and the Nvidia Shield handheld, which also have this capability. You can actually stream games from your home PC over the internet, but what I'm doing here is I'm streaming them over my home network. So everything is hardwired. I'm not using wireless at all. Now, the thing I wanted to show you specifically with this video, because I did already show game streaming before on the last video, was the ability to stream in 4K. But what I've discovered just before I turned the camera on here was that it only has the ability to stream in 1080p. So if I go to Ethernet here and I go to resolution, you'll see that the highest one I can pick is 1080p 60 frames per second. So, sorry, like I said, what I wanted to do was show you the ability to stream in 4K, but apparently we don't have that ability yet. Maybe it's something that they'll update in the future with a firmware update or something, but as of right now, the max you can do is 1080p 60 frames a second. Either way, I'll show you how that works with the 1080, because it's not something I've tried a lot of. Whoops. So I just loaded up Batman. What it's going to do is it's going to launch. It's loading right off my home PC here. And again, this TV is upstairs. So quite a distance away, much too far for Wi-Fi. Let's see if I can boot into the game here. And one of the questions I got a lot from the last video was, how is the lag? And as you can imagine, you would think that there'd be significant lag because you're streaming from your home computer upstairs, but at the same time you also have to do an input with the controller, so that has to then travel back through the network, make it to your home PC, and then of course the home PC has to shoot the signal back to you, and it happens incredibly quickly. I've used the PlayStation app to do streaming from my PS4, which works pretty well, but The Nvidia Shield is on a whole other level with this. I haven't played much of this game, but for this purpose, we're just going to see how it works. Now, whatever settings you have on your home PC, that's what it will try to stream. Of course, the resolution we have here is 1080 60 frames, but the game is still running in 4K downstairs on my computer, which is what I have it set to. All right. So it's streaming really well. The graphics are still really, really good. It's not 4K as we wanted, but 1080 working really well. And just so you guys can see how the lag works, it's unnoticeable. Like, it's unreal how quick it is. As I said in my video before, I'm not a huge fan of the Nvidia Shield controller. You can use a PS4 controller, hardwired. You can use an Xbox 360 controller if you like. I don't like the shape of this one. It is a good quality of controller, but I just don't like the shape of it. It doesn't work that well. I have gotten used to it, but I prefer to use something different. But as you can see, it's running very smooth, and the graphics are still incredible. But again, we don't have that 4K feature yet. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. The long and the short of it is, I highly recommend the GTX 1080 for anyone looking to upgrade their video card anytime soon. It's a huge upgrade for me, even over the 970, and definitely from the 670 that I was using before, especially if you have a Quad HD 1440p monitor or a 4K monitor as well. I highly recommend it. All right, talk to you guys later.